Hi everybody, and welcome back to my big backyard. Today I thought I would give you a quick update on how my cactus garden and succulents are doing and how my potted cactus and succulents are doing. One reason I picked today is because I have probably the very last blooms for my garden this year. Right here in this cactus, there are 3 gorgeous cactus flowers on here. I really like this orange color. It's really pretty. They were opened actually a little bit more earlier today. They've closed up a bit since I got home this afternoon. And I think it's because it's so hot. Maybe they like to close up, but maybe they'll open again tomorrow. Who knows? Anyway, they're just beautiful. As you can see in the cactus garden, the things that are thriving the most right now and that are most showy are the ice plant, that purple flower, as well as the other types of sedum that are growing in here. Believe it or not, all of this sedum, except for the ice plant, came from one of those sedum trays that you buy at Lowe's. I broke it up into pieces originally and planted it around as filler in this garden. It sure is pretty when it's blooming. It's nice and green and it fills in. I do sometimes regret putting it in. I do have to pull it back from around the cactuses a lot. It's voracious. You can see how the ice plant crowds out this echeveria here, but everything still seems very happy in here. I just pull the sedums away from the cacti once in a while. The other types of cacti that are in here, like this one, there's one right there, one back here, and of course my prickly pears and my choyas. This guy right there, my rainbow hedgehog, which bloomed earlier this year, little baby Rita, this guy here. All of these are doing spectacularly, and they're beautiful. Now, I am kind of a little bit proud of the ones that I grew from seed. Like this agave here is seed grown by me, as well as that agave there in front of the eastern prickly pear back there. Of course, you can see there's clover growing in here too. One of the things that I've noticed about this garden, it's really hard to weed a cactus garden. I get clover in here, I get dandelions in here, and you're just as likely to stab yourself as pull out the weeds, so it can be pretty tough. Another thing that's blooming right now is, of course, this echeveria right here with its pinkish orange flowers, and that'll be blooming for a little while. Anyway, everything down here is looking beautiful, and I'm really pleased with the garden I have compared to, you know, what I started with a couple of years ago. Now, as we go up onto my deck, I have some potted plants here which thrive all summer long. My felt bush, which is a kalanchoe, some jungle cactus. They say they don't like full sun, but they seem to be doing okay in the full sun here. And these I grew from seed. These are desert roses. They're all seed grown. Believe it or not, in spite of the dramatic difference in size between the 2 end and the 2 in the middle, these were all planted from seed at the exact same time. So you never know what's going to happen. My crown of thorns is blooming. My ruby slippers looks real nice. I have lots of really cool plants here. This mixture of burro's tail and donkey tail, I've been throwing leaves in the top and hoping that this just comes out and really fills in. It is, just slowly. You know, can never have too much. This one down here, this is my Caudata caralluma, and these are seed pods. And the cool thing about these seed pods is I don't remember the last time I saw this bloom. So the fact that it put out these seed pods either means that I somehow missed the flower, or it's really slow in putting out seed pods once after a flower is pollinated. Who knows? But I still think that's really cool. I'll probably plant some of those seeds or give some away. Back here, I have some more plants on a shelf. My Discoria elephantippes, one of them I think isn't going to make it, but this other one right here, you can see the Caldex down there. It's fine. It's dormant this time of year. The same thing with this Gonolamba cyclophilus. This is a cool plant. It has a really cool flower, but it's dormant this time of year. It'll probably come back up toward the fall. But there's other cool things up here. Like I said, everything I've got here is looking pretty good. Well, except for this. I tend to fail with this. This is I think they call this cucumber plant. I haven't done a very good job with that. Now this whole pot is Mammillaria seedlings. They're over a year old and clustered up. I'm just going to leave them as they are and see what happens. This right here is an aloe that I just received as a cutting or as just a baby, and I potted it up and we're gonna see what happens. It seems to be doing okay. I have a couple of Mammillarias blooming right now. This one right here and this one right here. I should put a picture on the screen of this one because it looked beautiful a couple of days ago and I just didn't make a video at that time. So, but I've got buds on this plant, potentially this plant, and a lot of really healthy growth showing on the tops of some other cactuses. So everything looks pretty good in here. I love this. This is so fuzzy and so full. So now as we come around here, I have a lot of seedlings. These are 1-year-old seedlings. Most of them are Trichocereus of some kind or another. Some of them may even be dead. I really have no idea. They're growing a lot better now that I've transplanted them into different pots. You may have seen the video where I repotted all of these. There's some other varieties of cactus seedlings in here too, like these. They were also repotted in that one video. And of course you can see my grafting project. I still have these nice grafted baby cactuses. Now if you notice, all of my seedlings here are 1 year old. This is about the size of my 1-year-old seedlings. And back here, see these 3 Trichocereus seedlings? These are also 1-year-old seedlings. The difference is that they are not my seedlings. I just bought those from Brett Wigand, cactus breeder out in California, and they're going to be wonderful, beautiful cactuses. They're mystery Trichocereus, and we'll see what they turn out to be. But really, the difference that I was pointing out is how big they are compared to what I have here. And I really think that that's the difference. It has to do with how they're cared for. I mean, he's a breeder. He has a lot more experience with this than I do. And also the climate. Mine lived inside for this whole year. I only just put them outside this year. And since I brought them outside after I repotted them, the combination of repotting them, bringing them outside, some mycorrhizae that I added to the soil, and fertilizer has really encouraged the growth of some of these. Now I haven't seen very much difference in others, and I'll probably go through my seedlings in the fall and even discard more that I feel are pretty much dead, and keep the strong. Only the strong will survive. But anyway, here are some more beautiful views of the cactus. This is a cool plant here. I bought this plant because I love the flower of it. It's a Edithcolia grandiflorus, which is a Persian carpet flower. It's really cool looking when it flowers, but mine has not flowered for me. Not entirely sure why. I've only had it a year though, so it could learn to flower here eventually. I did take off a chunk of it, and I'm rooting it over here. I have 3 pieces here, here, and here in this tray of cuttings and things that I'm trying to root. Some more cuttings I'm rooting here, and an opuntia, I forget what this one's called, but it hasn't grown very much at all since I got it. These were cuttings, but sometimes cuttings of this side take a really, really long time to actually root in and grow. So we'll see what happens. Some other pretty succulents. The jungle cactus that you saw bloom for me earlier this year. Here's my monkey tail cactus. You know, I've got it out here and it hasn't really done much growing since I brought it out here this spring, but we'll see what happens. I'll compare it at the end of the season to what it is now and just see how it did. I have some cool aloes. There. Some, why does it always slip my mind what the name of something is when I'm actually looking at it? Anyway, this is a and a couple more domino cactus, basically Easter lily cactus, sometimes people call it. These are Trichocereus hybrids. I have buds on some of them. I'm very excited. I'm hoping that these buds stay and actually produce flowers for me. Who knows? This one scares me a little bit. This one has maybe a fungus. I don't know what goes on with this one. I'm just hoping that it's really okay. I treated it with some Physan 20 at one point. I'm not really sure what happened or why it's like this. I just keep hoping for the best and hoping that it grows well. And then this one here isn't growing. I mean, it's growing, obviously, it's fine, but it hasn't put out any buds for me or anything. I've got a couple aloes up here and a different kind of agave that I grew from seed. This guy flowered for me earlier and has a flower bud here. And a few more. You probably saw this one earlier. It had a beautiful ring of flowers this season. This guy is budding up nicely. And this guy still has a bud or two. I'm excited. This has really pretty orange yellow flowers. They've been blooming one at a time for me. They didn't bloom all at once, but that's fine because then the blooms last longer for me and I get to enjoy them. So swinging around here, we already looked at most of this stuff. The other thing I have that I think it's a succulent is plumeria. The stems of this are succulents, and these were grown from cuttings as well, and it's about to bloom. It'll have gorgeous yellow flowers. They grow these trees in tropical places like Hawaii. It's not a desert succulent or anything like this. It's a very tropical kind of plant, and this is the flower that they use to make the leis, those Hawaiian flower necklaces. And these two cuttings are blooming for me. A lot of times they say when you're planting these cuttings and you want them to root well, you should cut off any bloom stalks that come out, but I just can't do it. They're too pretty. I want to enjoy them. So anyway, so that's it for a quick tour of my cactuses and my succulents and my cactus garden. So I don't know if you can see it real well, but there's a huge bee down there. Look how big that guy is. He's really hard to see. Anyway, have a great day.